And our next presenter is Linda Wang. And Linda, you have the floor.
Thank you. So today I would like to talk to you about why we do this research, why it's important. And in this talk, I'll give you a short introduction, and then I'll ask you 3 key questions for your consideration. Over the past few decades, we have developed a dependency on single-use plastic products in our daily lives. The problem is that only 14% of the plastic waste is being collected, and only 9% is recycled and reused. As a result, we are seeing a rapid accumulation of the plastics in the environment, where it degrades slowly into microplastics and releases toxic chemicals. This pollution creates a serious risk to all living creatures and our water and food supplies. By 2050, the planet will have 30 billion tons of plastic waste in landfills. Even worse, the oceans will have more plastics than fish. Once the waste gets into the oceans, it's irreversible because the cost of cleaning the oceans is enormous. To prevent more plastic waste from going into the environment, our team is developing new technologies that can convert over 80% of this waste into profitable products. For example, we can convert grocery bags and packing materials into clean fuels, wax, or pristine polymers. We can also convert polystyrene cups or food containers into pristine polystyrene, which can be remade into new products. Our goal is to develop multiple ways for industry to make a profit in processing plastic waste. This will create a driving force for the public to participate in recycling and ultimately reduce the amount of plastic waste and the associated risk to the environment. So the rapid growth in the plastic waste is shown in this exponential curve. Over the past 15 years, we have produced more than 50% of the plastic waste over the last century. At this rate, you can see that 1992, the pristine beach in the Henderson Island, but in 2015 is full of plastic debris. The question is, by 2050, is the planet still be inhabitable? That's the key question for your consideration. The first successful dive into the Mariana Trench, 36,000 feet deep, a plastic bag was found. And you can find plastic bags in the Arctic Ocean floor. And the microplastic, the degradation products are found from the Alps, the snow in the Alps to the Arctic ice. So plastics, microplastic everywhere. They're in the beach sands, sea salts, fish. In more than 25% of the fish in California examined had microplastics. And seabirds in Europe, greater than 59%. And they are killing 3 million seabirds per year and 100,000 marine mammals. So are they on the food on your dinner plates? And do we know how this affects our health or the ecosystem? Biologists are just beginning to study these questions. So the second question to ask is, can we afford to clean up the oceans, rivers, and landfills? In our estimate, it takes about $1 to retrieve 1 kilogram of plastic waste from the landfills. And right now, the companies can make virgin plastic at a lower cost. It takes about 0.3 cents to treat 1 gallon ocean water. But if you take this unit cost multiplied by the volume of water in the oceans, you come up with a 10 to the 18th dollars, which is 10,000 times the global GDP. In our estimate, this is clearly unaffordable. So that means the damage to our ecosystem is irreversible. And the impact on the water, food supplies, and health are inevitable. So will the planet be inhabitable by 2050? The famous physicists predicted that humanity has only 100 years left to live, Earth or perish. And many factors are considered in his analysis, but unfortunately, plastic pollution was not on his list. So is his prediction too optimistic? In my opinion, yes. So number 3 question, can we save the planet in time for future generations? The potential solutions are there. We are developing multiple technologies for the industry to make a profit, okay, in processing plastic waste. And we think this profit can drive the building of infrastructures to facilitate waste collection. We think we should collect deposits from consumers to motivate them to return to used plastics. And we think we should develop public policies to have a clear policy to prevent input of plastic waste into landfills and oceans. So we should develop sustainable, circular use of materials. Right now, the crude oil and natural gas are used for producing transportation fuels and others, and 8% are used in producing plastic products. After a single use, they're discarded into the landfills, a small percent incinerated or recycled. We should change the linear path into a circular path. That means we collect the waste plastics and use technology to convert them into pristine polymers or monomers, and so that they can be remanufactured into new products. We can also use these new technologies to convert them into fuels to save the crude oil used for the production of fuels. So the profits in this approach can be quite good. It varies from $100 a ton to about $800 a ton. And this does not include the savings in the dollars for cleaning the environment or for restoring the ecosystems, and the unknown dollars for the human healthcare costs. So number 3, can we save the planet in time? Well, you can help. Okay. So first, we should replace the plastic products with natural products. We should reduce the use of plastic waste products. And we should recycle the plastic waste we use. We must increase the collection rate from 14% to over 90% as in Norway. And do not mix plastics into trash. And we remember, clean, sorted plastic waste gives the highest profits. And spread the important message. Thank you for your attention.
We'll take some Q&A, Linda.
Yes.
Do we have any questions for Linda?
Yes. Yes, please.
As a consumer, I often feel shamed in using, selecting, having plastics, but I often feel limited that my options are mostly single-use plastics. So
Right.
I'm wondering, do you have industry asking for
Yes.
this technology? Are they demanding it, or does it have to be a consumer-driven push to get the companies to push over? Because if I have an option, I can
Yes.
do something with that. If I have an option to do something with the
Yes.
waste,
Yes.
I can do that, but I sometimes feel limited.
Right.
So do you have industry
Yes,
partners?
there are many. The problem is we demonstrate this at the larger scale, beyond the lab scale. They're all waiting for the demonstration of the large scale funded by the government or by somebody else.
They're not putting in the funding?
No, they have not. They're waiting. But the problem is that the industries cannot make profits in this current structure and current environment. So there's no activity for recycling. That's why we only have 9% recycled right now. So if we have demonstrated this technology at a larger scale, when they have confidence in the technology, I think they will jump in. But we're still trying to cross the first barrier.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, cannot see anything. Yes,
Go ahead,
please.
Nat.
Uh-huh.
Trying to introduce legislature to try to get companies to quit virgin plastic products, and I don't.
There's no public policy in the US. There are some incentives and policies in Europe. That's why I think it's very urgent to have public policies to encourage this change. Because without the clear public policies, everybody's watching, is waiting, and our time is running out. Yeah.
We have time for one more question for Linda. One
Yes.
If they used to, but
Uh-huh.
if it doesn't have a 1, a 2, a 7 identification
Most of them do. If you look closely, at the bottom of the product is 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7. And the problem is the collection, where our current collection rate is too low, 14%. And actually recycled is less, only 9%. So we must do what Norway does. They hold a high deposits for any plastic products, and the consumers are encouraged to put in the machine, recycle, and get a refund back. And they can get 97% collection rate of their water bottle used. Yes,
Linda, thank you so much.
thank you.